Today we'll be meeting Alyssa, who suffers from ulcerative colitis. Let's review her case. Ulcerative colitis is a type of inflammatory bowel disease along with Crohn's disease. However, they differ in several aspects. Ulcerative colitis causes inflammation over the length of the large intestine only, beginning at the rectum and extending proximally. This inflammation is contained to the superficial mucosal layer of the large intestine and causes distortion of the crypts present in this layer, whereas Crohn's disease can affect any part of the gastrointestinal tract, causing discontinuous segments of inflammation which infiltrate the entire wall of the intestine, not just the mucosal layers. Because of this transmural involvement, CD patients are more prone to the formation of fistulas and strictures. Endoscopically, UC is characterised by ulceration and erythema, while Crohn's disease is distinguishable by the thickening and cobblestone appearance of the mucosa. The underlying etiology of ulcerative colitis is yet to be elucidated. However, evidence supports the production of an aberrant immune response against undiscovered environmental factors such as luminal and microbial antigens in individuals with a genetic predisposition. Globally, UC has greatest prevalence in westernised countries, such as those of North America, Europe and Australia. However, newly industrialised countries are experiencing the greatest increase in incidence of the disease. Australia has a high prevalence of UC, with 136 cases per 100,000 people, and an estimated incidence of 7.5 new cases per 100,000 people per year. The total economic burden in Australia of UC was estimated to equal $1.38 billion. Next, we'll take a look at the pathophysiological processes underlying ulcerative colitis. But first, we need to understand the normal physiology of the large intestines.
The gastrointestinal mucosa provides a semi-permeable barrier, allowing nutrient uptake and immune sampling, while simultaneously acting as a physical barrier to prevent the entry of antigenic and pathogenic material to the underlying tissues. The structures which impart this immunological defense include an outer mucus layer comprised of glycosylated mucin proteins which prevent bacteria from contacting the underlying epithelium. Contained within this mucus layer are commensal bacteria, antimicrobial peptides and secreted IgA molecules, which prevent proliferation of pathogens within the mucus. A monolayer of columnar epithelial cells underlies the mucus layer, the apical membrane of which are joined by tight junctions, providing cell-to-cell adhesion and sealing of the paracellular space. Finally, the inner lamina propria contains dendritic cells, macrophages and lymphocytes, which respond to antigenic invasion. The pathogenesis of ulcerative colitis involves decreased mucin production and disruption of epithelial tight junctions, causing increased intestinal permeability. This barrier dysfunction allows antigenic material from food and commensal bacteria in the intestinal lumen, to which resident immune cells usually have a relative tolerance to infiltrate the underlying lamina propria. Dendritic cells and macrophages in this layer then recognize these antigens via pattern recognition receptors, and after internalization and processing, present the antigen to B and T cells, causing their activation. The stimulatory capacity of dendritic cells has been shown to be increased in ulcerative colitis, along with an increase in the number of these cells. Activation of naive T cells results in their differentiation to helper and regulatory T cells, along with the recruitment of natural killer T cells to the area.
Once activated, these cells will produce inflammatory cytokines, such as IL-13.
IL-13, produced by natural killer cells, is of particular significance in ulcerative colitis as it exerts cytotoxic effects against epithelial cells, including induction of apoptosis and alteration of tight junction composition, further perpetuating the increased permeability. Cell adhesion molecules and chemoattractants are upregulated in the vasculature of the inflamed area during the inflammatory cascade, causing increased recruitment and extravasation of leukocytes to the area.
Hi Alyssa, what seems to be the issue today?
Hi Doc, well, I think my ulcerative colitis is flaring up again. I've been having frequent bloody diarrhea and it also feels really urgent when I need to go. I've also been experiencing a lot of abdominal pain, especially when I move my bowels. I've also noticed the last couple of days I've had a fever and I've lost a little bit of weight recently.
It definitely sounds like your ulcerative colitis is flaring up again then, which is common to experience periods of exacerbation and remission. Let's review your treatment plan and go from there.
Diarrhea is a common symptom of UC due to decreased water absorption in the large intestine as a result of mucosal damage. Rectal bleeding also occurs due to inflammation and ulceration of the colonic mucosa, and combined these symptoms produce bloody diarrhea. Urgency and increased frequency of bowel evacuation occurs due to alterations in intestinal motility and peristalsis. Abdominal pain, extraintestinal manifestations including arthritis and dermatologic lesions, and fever may also occur due to inflammatory processes.